If you want to know the fastest ways to gain huge amounts of raw materials, you are in the right place. Resources or raw materials are not that hard to come by if you know the best ways to farm these materials. So I will be giving my top 4 methods to easily gain thousands of raw materials in the fastest time possible for your building needs. Like for example, raiding enemy bandits or brigand camps across the world will give you a nice bulk of resources after taking out the bandits guarding the area. You can easily locate a bandit camp on the map by simply looking for the skull icon pinned on it, just like the one that I'm showing on the screen right now. Most of the time, the resource cargoes are hidden inside camp buildings and mule boxes, but of course, nothing your scanner can't pick up. So by just using it, you will know the cargo's location. Take the time to open all of the mule boxes in the area, and usually they range from 2 to 3 boxes. Another trick as well is to use watchtower to survey the area and determine how many materials you can get from a camp, and also determine the position of your enemies and how many threats you need to neutralize. Most of the time, these bandit camps are far from any shelters or from the Magellan's access points, so it is suggested to bring an off-roader with you at all times when raiding these camps. You will be getting a lot of lost cargoes as well, so it is highly suggested to bring an off-roader for the high weight capacity it offers. But of course, during early games, you will only have access to the tri-cruiser. But note as well that the side slots of the cruiser can hold cargoes on top of its cargo capacity, so be sure to take advantage of that. After raiding a bandit camp, it is highly suggested to bring and store all of your farm resources to the Magellan. This is suggested since the Magellan is your main hub in the game and it follows you whenever you progress in the story. And you will be doing the majority of your crafting sessions on this ship, so make sure the resource levels of the Magellan are always high. To store your gathered materials, simply access the Magellan's terminal, access fabrications and management, then select recycle and store. Then select the raw materials that you have, which are most of the time in your backpack or placed in your vehicle storage. While you are out in the open making deliveries, you will always be on the hunt with lost cargoes scattered across the world to gain additional likes on top of your regular deliveries. Not just lost cargoes are scattered across the map, but also resources as well. Although I would highly suggest saving your slots for lost cargo instead of raw materials. However, there will be cases where you will need to create bridges or roads but lack the materials to build the said structures. And oftentimes, these locations are very far from settlements or shelters to get raw materials. So your best bet is getting raw materials littered across your surroundings. Use the off-roader when out in the field or when farming lost cargoes or materials, since it has an absurd amount of weight capacity. And the off-roader will allow you to just grapple the raw materials around you with the sticky cannon. To unlock the sticky cannon, complete the story mission delivery Necrobiotes to F2 South Distribution Center. And you can accept this mission from the Northern Environmental Observatory. You can't miss this mission since it is part of the main scenario. Unlock the sticky cannon and you will also be unlocking the heavy machine gun, useful in combat, especially in BT areas. If you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and discuss role-playing games such as this, and I appreciate your support. When progressing in the story, you'll be unlocking mines where you can produce a huge amount of specific materials. For you to activate these mines, you need to repair them first by allocating other resources such as special alloys. Then you can operate these mines with the use of Kyro crystals to produce certain materials. Like for example, the system will require me to use 1,200 Kyro crystals and produce 720 chemicals. While in this specific mine, I can produce 960 ceramics for 800 Kyro crystals. The fun part about these mines is you can upgrade these mines just like the other structures in the game to improve their production yield. Find all of these mines scattered across the world and enjoy their provided benefits to suit your needs. In early to mid game, you can access 3 of these mines. The first mine can be activated by getting a standard order from the Western Observatory. Complete it and your first small mine will be unlocked. And I'm also showing the location on the screen right now. The second mine will be unlocked but just progressing in the story, specifically when you arrive at West Fort Knot. And this is going to be your first major mine. The main difference between the smaller mines to the major ones is the major ones are usually connected to a monorail, and more on this later. The first major mine will produce special alloys and you will need a lot of this later on. The third mine or the Twin Valley mine is missable as far as I can tell since you need to activate it manually since it's not tied to any standard orders. It is located inside a bandit camp which is part of the main scenario. This mine is a smaller one and produces chemicals in exchange for your chiral crystals. I mentioned that major mines are often connected to monorails. Monorails are one of the fastest ways to get around the map. These rails are often connected to big cities such as the West Fortnite, and you can take advantage of them as one of your main modes of transport. You do have an option to load your vehicles or your heavy loads of materials for your convenience, especially if you're dealing with a lot of extra large cargoes. But the caveat is, you need to fix some of the rails for you to link it up to major points, but that is a small price for what this machine can do, especially if the monorail can help you to transfer loads and loads of raw materials. The best and one of the fastest ways to gain raw materials is exporting all kinds of resources from other shelters to the Magellan. As you progress in the game, you will notice that shelters or cities are increasing their resources count and resource ceiling every time you increase their relationship to them. The raw materials count that I'm showing on the screen right now belongs to a shelter, while this is for the Magellan. A lot of people mistook this resources count as their overall resources count in the game, but the thing is, it's not. Each of the settlement has its own resources stored, including the Magellan. Your relationship to the key person on each shelter is being determined by star levels, just like in Death Stranding 1. And the more stars you unlock, the more exclusive equipment you unlock specific to that shelter. And that shelter will also increase its resources count. I recently covered the fastest way to reach 5 stars on each of these shelters, or the best way to farm likes. If you're interested in that, make sure to check the description, especially if you want to unlock all of the best gears early. So for you to export material out from a shelter, simply access the terminal and head to Fabrication and Management, then select Claim Materials. In the next window, you can now decide which materials you want to export and you can decide the amount for each type. I mentioned as well that you need a lot of chiral crystals to run mines, and this is one of the fastest way to get chiral crystals as well. And yes, you can get more around mines or when after defeating a BT mini boss, but nothing beats getting more from shelters. To top it all off, you can simply use an off-roader or a tri-cruiser if you are doing this in early game to transfer the exported resources into the Magellan. To store the actual resources, simply access the Magellan's terminal and head to Fabrication and Management. Then access Recycle and Store and choose the materials you want to import. Hey Samurai, I don't have any problems with resources in this game, so why make this guide? Well, this may be true in the early game, but as soon as you build monorails and roads across the world, you'll be exporting and importing goods every now and then. Use all of these methods to farm resources in the fastest time possible and help other porters rebuild Australia. But what if you are new and want to know the best beginner tips? Click on this video and I will catch you on the next one.